Do you know how long Nuh alayhi salam lived for? More than 1,000 years. Do you know how long Nuh alayhi salam stayed calling his people to the truth, and how long he tried to guide them? Patiently, 950 years. 950 years, as Allah states in the Quran. The name Nuh means easygoing, and truly he was very, very patient. He was like a father figure. Everybody knew that he was easygoing and very simple, and Allah sent him to the right people. But before I talk about his mission to his people, something happened before him which made him come out as a messenger for the first time to a disbelieving people. Allah said in the Quran, كان الناس أمة واحدة فبعث الله النبيين مبشرين ومنذرين وأنزل معهم الكتاب بالحق ليحكم بينهم فيما اختلفوا فيه. Which means all the people used to be on one belief and one faith. They were all one nation. Yes, there were sins and there were corruption between them, but they all believed in one God. They all believed in the right message altogether. And then they differed and started to make up their own religions and their own faiths and their own gods. So Allah began sending messengers and prophets to guide the people back to the right path as they used to be before, with books and scriptures that spoke the truth to return the people from their differings. So my brothers and sisters, what happened? After the Prophet Seth, Sheeth alayhi salam, and Prophet Idris, Enoch, people started to make up their own religions, and there were 5 righteous men. Their names were Wad, Suwa', Yaghuth, Ya'uq, and Nasra. They were really noble men, really righteous men that followed the truth, and everybody respected them. When they died, Iblis, the king of the Satans, he came up to the generations that came after and said, you know, your forefathers, they honored and respected these great men. They must have been saints. They must have been very special. Why don't you build monuments and statues out of them, and you guys respect them and give them gifts and offerings so that God can listen to your prayers? So the generations, they got stooged and they went with the flow and believed anything that they heard. And so they erected statues and monuments out of them. Generations after generations that came, they started to honor and respect their bloodline and their forefathers more than anyone else. And so they continued this false legacy until they finally turned these statues into gods, and they forgot all about God. And so there came out a people who were called the elitists. Allah calls them al-mala', which means the elites. They were power-hungry people, money-hungry, and loved to have control. And they used these 5 gods, which they called, in order to control people and to make up their own religions and laws, so that it turned the people into a hierarchy and there was injustice. So for the first time, Allah sent the first messenger to a disbelieving people, who was Nuh alayhi salam. Nuh alayhi salam began to try to guide his people and teach them what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent with him of the righteous message. Allah says in the Quran, إِنَّا أَرْسَلْنَا نُوحًا إِلَىٰ قَوْمِهِ أَنْ أَنذِرْ قَوْمَكَ مِنْ قَبْلِ أَنْ يَأْتِيَهُمْ عَذَابٌ أَلِيمٌ. We sent Noah to his people in order to warn them, his people, before a tormenting and painful punishment comes to them. Allah also says in the Quran that He used to say to them, I fear upon you, my people, where He says, إِنِّي أَخَافُ عَلَيْكُمْ عَذَابَ يَوْمٍ عَظِيمٍ. O my people, I fear upon you, I'm afraid for you of a terrible punishment that is coming. Nuh alayhi salam was talking about the hereafter, not about this world. And every prophet and messenger, the only thing they're concerned about is the hereafter. They want to save people from the hellfire in order to enter paradise for eternity. For they all knew that this world will end and everybody's life will end here. This is not meant to be paradise. So he was talking about the hereafter, and this is what he was concerned about. And the things he said to them was, do not worship other than Allah alone. And repeatedly he would always say, I fear upon you, I fear upon you my people.